16,000 people packed into one stadium. A career-defining win, and then silence. Not the silence of disappointment, but the kind that falls when something happens that nobody has a word for yet. This is what actually went down at Indian Wells, and it had nothing to do with prize money. March 8th, Indian Wells, California, Stadium 1, one of the loudest, most electric arenas in professional tennis.
That'll probably do it, yeah. Well, that stinks. Two of the game's brightest stars. You hear Coco Gauff apologizing. There's no need for that.
My arm is going like this the whole time.
Alexandra Eala had just done something remarkable. She dismantled world number 4 Coco Gauff, breaking her repeatedly in the opening set, reeling off 5 consecutive games, taking it 6-2 and jumping to a 2-0 lead in the second. She was dominant, composed, and looked every bit like a player who belonged on the biggest stage in the world. Then everything changed. Gauff began struggling visibly with her left arm, later describing the pain as fireworks detonating inside her muscles, the kind of pain that doesn't give you a choice. She had to stop. She walked toward the net, and in that moment, with 16,000 people holding their breath, the match stopped being about tennis. The noise died. An entire stadium exhaled together. Eala, standing in the middle of the biggest victory of her career, didn't raise her arms or celebrate. Instead, she walked toward Gauff, not as a winner.
Yeah, I don't even remember the last time I saved match points, so probably when I was like 15, but yeah, I'm really happy to get through today. It was a long one. I know you guys.
But as someone who genuinely cared, she stayed with her, listened as she explained what had happened. There was no performance in it, just two people in a quiet corner of an enormous stadium being human. To understand why this moment mattered so much, you have to rewind. Earlier in 2025, Eala had already made a statement. At the Miami Open, she defeated top players, including Iga Swiatek, along with Grand Slam champions Madison Keys and Elena Rybakina. She earned over $332,000 during that run, but the money wasn't the point. The point was proof she belonged. At Indian Wells, she pushed even further, reaching the round of 16 and adding more to her season. But after her win, she didn't talk about money. She spoke about the journey, the process. On International Women's Day, she thanked the women who paved the way, called Gauff an extraordinary competitor and role model, and wished her a quick recovery. Then she looked into the crowd, found her mother, and spoke from the heart. The applause that followed wasn't polite, it was emotional. There's another layer to this story. Months earlier, before the Italian Open, Eala had sent Gauff a direct message on Instagram asking her to play doubles together. It was a bold move, and Gauff said yes. They reached the quarterfinals, building chemistry that surprised even their teams. But the result wasn't the story, the connection was. They practiced together, supported each other, and formed a friendship that tennis rarely allows. So when Gauff told her at the net, "You're playing great," she meant it. And when Eala walked her off the court with a hand on her back, she meant that too. Later, after the crowd had mostly gone, something quieter happened. Eala handed Gauff a small commemorative item from her earlier tournament run, telling her it had meant everything before her first WTA quarterfinal. Gauff smiled and replied, "You're going to have so many more of these." They hugged, not a quick handshake hug, but a real one. The moment spread online within hours. Fans called it something rare, friendship over rivalry. Meanwhile, the rankings shifted. Eala broke into the WTA top 30 for the first time. Her wins no longer surprises but proof of something building. Gauff returned to competition soon after, and when asked about Eala, she said simply, "She's a class act. I'm lucky to call her my friend." And that says everything. This story was never really about prize money, rankings, or trophies. It was about two young athletes under pressure, far from home, choosing kindness in a sport that doesn't always leave room for it. It was about Eala standing on the biggest stage of her career and still asking, "Are you okay?" Because behind every ranking is a person, behind every match is a story, and sometimes, on a court in front of 16,000 people, that truth becomes impossible to ignore. That's what Indian Wells gave us. Not just a result, but a reminder.